killer words there, yeah. Chante hung my yellow. Chante hung my yellow. Iza. I don't like saying those words when they're true, yeah. Because normally the way you say that is Chante, you hung my yellow. Can you figure out what it means just by the way I said it? Destroyed my heart. You ruined my heart. That's what it means. Oh, shit. Anywho, um, I really like that song. This song, let me explain that song real quick. That song is about this guy sees this girl at a powwow in Eagle Butte, Cheyenne River Spring Powwow. I don't know if they still have that powwow. I know when I was a little boy, they called it the Mini Koju Powwow. Yeah, that's when people didn't speak Lakota too much, and a lot of people were trying to use the word Mini Koju to mean Cheyenne River Sioux tribe. Yeah? And then people in books it's spelled Mini Kanju. Yeah, that's what it looks like that when you read it. But it's not mini, it's mini. Yeah, mini, M-N-E. No, M-N-I. Mini. That's water. Um, Ko is that has a couple of different definitions. Um, but they got this mixed up though, because it's supposed to be Ohoju. Yeah, not, and I think that's why they used the K because somebody didn't know how to say or write the guttural H because it's a yeah, Ohoju. And this is one of the groups that live on the Cheyenne River Sioux Reservation. There are 7 Lakota groups. Yeah, 7 traditional Lakota groups. One is on Pine Ridge Reservation. Those are Oglala Lakota. Uh, and there's one that's on 2 reservations. They're on the Rosebud Sioux Reservation and Lower Brule Sioux Reservation. And that's the Sicangu Lakota people. And up on Standing Rock is Hunkpapha. These are Sitting Bulls people. Yeah, they're up on Standing Rock Sioux Reservation. But Standing Rock also has some Dakota people up there too on the very north tip of their reservation. And so they have 2 dialects on that reservation, yeah, but it's predominantly Lakota. Yeah. So, anywho, that's 3 of the 7. The remaining 4 groups are on the Cheyenne River Sioux Reservation. You have Itazipco, which is where my mother is from. This is also the group of people that have the sacred white buffalo calf pipe. It came to those people. Yeah? Um, and a lot of people think that it belongs to the Oglalas. No, it never did. Never, 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 never. Some people think that it was given to the Oglalas in the Black Hills. Total bullshit. Never, never happened. It happened on the prairie. And the Itazipco Lakota people were going through a really tough time. So this is why they received the pipe. I'm just saying a short. This is all I'll say because normally it's a really long story. It's a very beautiful story as well. So that's how we got the pipe. And those people are my people, and we live on Cheyenne River Sioux Reservation. And the other 3 are Sihasapa and Ohenupe, and the last one being Hohoju. So Hohoju is just one of the 4 groups that live on Cheyenne River. All 7 groups speak the same language. Okay, I just got an email from somebody here says that they asked him about my Lakota language book, and they asked me, "Is this in the Oglala dialect?" It really pisses me off when people ask that question because people think that Pine Ridge people are the only Lakota group. Yeah, they think that Pine Ridge people are the real Lakota group, and there's some people on Pine Ridge who think that too. Yeah, they think they're the real Lakota people, and I think that's a really slap in the face because I mean the last greatest chief that ever lived was from Standing Rock. That's Sitting Bull. He's Honkpapa. And the Itazipco Lakota people have the pipe. This is our most sacred item for our people. Pine Ridge doesn't have any of that. So I don't. It's movies, yeah. It's movies that really, you know, yeah, they're Oglalas and all that, so they make it look like Oglalas are the only Lakota group, but they're not. There's seven, and there's some up into Canada too. So it's not just Pine Ridge, and we all speak the same dialect. It's just a few words here and there, like on most Lakota groups, when they say grandpa, when little children say grandpa, they say la la, accent on the second syllable la la. On Pine Ridge and Rosebud, they say gaga, which I find funny, because most of the people in the world, then gaga means something different. So it's kind of odd, but that's just a little difference. See, it's things like that. It's just a word here and there, but it's not enough to say that it's its own dialect. You see what I mean? If I go to Pine Ridge and I say, if I meet a guy down there who's a Uglala, and I'll come up to him with my hands out to shake hands, and I'll say, "How tahashi, lila taya atachielo na lila taya wachiankelo." And he's going to understand everything I said 100%, and he's going to say the exact same thing back to me because we speak the same language. Yeah? So there's no difference. So I just wanted to throw that in there real quick. Because I know some people out there, they think this way too. Yeah, a lot of European people think this way as well. They think Pine Ridge is the only Lakota place in the world, and they don't realize that it's not. And Red Cloud was not a good chief. This guy terrorized his own people, and he became hardcore Catholic in the end. Yeah? Crazy Horse was an outcast among the Oglala people. The reason why was because he grew up with his mother's people. His mother's people are Hohwoju, this group I'm talking about. So Crazy Horse identified himself with the Hohwoju people, not Oglala. So Cheyenne River claims Crazy Horse. And the closest descendants to Crazy Horse are on the Cheyenne River Sioux Reservation. They're not in Pine Ridge or Rosebud. They're in Cheyenne River. In fact, they're my cousins. I'm related to them on my mother's side. Yeah. So that's how that works. So when you look at the whole truth, there's greatness all over. It's not just on Pine Ridge. So remember that, folks. It's not just Pine Ridge. There's a bunch of other reservations too. And you have some great leaders from the Dakota people as well, yeah? From the Sisitrouan, Wachbekute, and what's the other one? Mediwakantrouan, Dakota nations. Yeah? And among the Nakota people as well, the Ihanktuan and Ihanktuana people as well are all really have some wonderful peoples and leaders, and it's not just Pine Ridge. So just had to add that in there. Anyway, This on the Cheyenne River, they used to have a spring powwow, and then I don't know what happened when I became a high school guy. They stopped having it for some reason. I don't ever understood why. When I was a little kid, it was a really big thing. Yeah? Then they stopped having it. And then I think it was in the 1990s they started bringing it back, so they called it the Spring Powwow. Yeah? And I don't know if that's still going on. But anyway, why am I talking about this? I lost my train of thought yet again. Shit, I used to have a former very lovely lady from Spain by the name of Marta. She used to listen in on Skype, yeah, and so she would. We see. I'm calling in with Skype, so she would. If I forget what I was talking about, she used to tell me. Yeah, you were talking about this, and then she was, oh yeah, gee, then I missed that. I mean, I don't just miss that from Marta. Marta was an amazing woman. Marta translated my Lakota language book into Spanish, and she did lots of wonderful things for me in my life. She gave me the best birthday party I ever had in my life. She gave me a surprise birthday party. Yeah. Very lovely woman. I don't know what she's doing. She's just one of those kind of people that just decided not to keep in contact, yeah. So something must be happening in her life to cause her to do that. And as long as it's good, I'm happy for her, yeah, because she's a nice lady. Overall, she's a nice lady. But it's weird when people just choose, that you send them messages and messages and they never respond, and then it's like, how do I know they're dead? Really, because I don't know their family or anything like that, and nobody ever contacted me from her family, so I don't know what's going on. It's crazy when people do that. As they just drop off the face of the earth and they don't say anything, and then several months later you might, or maybe even several years later, you get a message, and you're like, "Huh? You're alive," and they act like nothing happened. That's the strange thing. Yeah. This makes you suspicious. Anyway, what the heck? Why was I talking about spring powwow? Hmm. Oh, this song. I was gonna explain this song. Yeah, the song that you just heard with the lyrics "Chante hung maya." Yeah. Um, this is the first verse takes place at the spring powwow in Eagle Butte in Cheyenne River Sioux Reservation, where this guy sees this fancy shawl dancer, and he's kind of got a crush on her because she's pretty and she really dances good. But he doesn't want to look at her because she looks like one of his female cousins, yeah, that he hasn't seen in a long time. And so he's like, that might be my cousin. I better quit, checking her out. Yeah, that's what that verse is about. And but then at the end of that powwow, she won um, one of the places in the fancy shawl, women's fancy shawl division. And usually at the end of powwows, that's when they at contest powwows. At the very end, they announce who the winners were, and so they call her name. That's why this verse says, "When they called your name, my cousin was lost again." That means, when they called her name to get her prize, my cousin was lost. And how does that word go? I don't know. But anyway, when he hears her name and she's running out to get her prize money, it's like, oh, it's not my cousin. So now he's happy again. Yeah, he's happy because it's not his cousin. So that's why the lyrics say, "So my cousin was lost again." He's glad. Yeah, he's happy because now he can fall in love with her. That's what that verse is saying. Yeah, and then where does it go from there? Uh, at the spring powwow, at no, at the Washichu town. This is in Faith, South Dakota. It's just across the western boundary of the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe. They used to have a powwow. It was kind of Faith trying to reestablish good communications with the Indian community, because up to that point there were some racist incidents that happened there, and it got statewide attention, and it was the police officer. He beat the crap out of two Indian drunk. And he took them outside of town and he just beat the crap out of them. It's like he had fun doing that. But there was a witness, and he wrote down everything he saw. So they called in the FBI, and then they fired this cop. And ever since that time, it's Faith has always been a racist town, always, yeah. And so this was like finally, the police officer got caught for doing that. Finally, see, he was doing this for years, and they finally caught him. And there's a lot of cowboys in that area, so they like to beat up Indians too. Yeah, so Faith got a reputation, and that became known statewide. Yeah, that Faith is a place to go beat up Indians, to go beat up drunk Indians. So that's why this town was trying to rebuild its image by having a powwow there, and it was a good one. Yeah, it was a really good powwow. And unfortunately, no white people from the town came. Yeah, so it was just Indians there. So even though they had the powwow there, no white residents of that town went to the powwow. So it just shows you the racism. So I think they stopped having it. Yeah, so that's too bad. It was a good effort though. It was a business pin. The business people they wanted to try to reestablish a good rebuild a good reputation, but it evidently didn't work because it just shows you the town is racist. But at that powwow, that's why the verse says at the Washichu town. The Washichu is white. Washichu is not a derogatory term. On the internet, you're going to see a lot of people who say, a lot of Indian racists who will say, yeah, that's how the Washichu is. The Washichu lies. The Washichu never speaks the truth. The Washichu takes everything. See, this is they're using this term in a very derogatory way, and it never was meant to be that way. Yeah, in Lakota culture, our names for each other, our tribal names, all have funny stories. Because humor is such a big important part of our culture, we establish friendship with other people through humor. So we're really known for our humor. Yeah. So names like Sicangu, which means burnside, really has a funny story. Itazipco, my mother's people, that means without bows. It's another funny story. Yeah, I don't have time to go into them, but just know that they're funny stories. And so when we're extending friendship to people, we do it. Sometimes we do it in a funny way to establish good relations. So when we first encountered white people, they did the same. They used that same concept by creating a funny story behind it. So it was meant in a way to extend friendship. But today's racists, they use it in a very derogatory way. And to me, they're disrespecting the ancestors when they do that. That's that they're really showing the ancestors great dishonor and great disrespect when they use the word Washichu in a derogatory way. And the thing is, this just goes to show you that not all Indians are good. And the argument is true for every group of people. Not all white people are bad. Yeah, not all women are feminists. Not all men are male chauvinists. Not all Republicans are smart. You know what I mean? See what I mean? Hmm? So it's not the color of the skin or the group identity that's good or bad. It's how people live their lives. Yeah, it's how people live their lives. So, um, anyway, the next verse goes at the bear soldier powwow is when she's dancing his blue shawl, and so he says, "I wished I was that blue shawl," because it's wrapped around her and hugging her. He's really got it bad for this girl, yeah. And then the next, there's a winter powwow, a midwinter powwow in Mandan, North Dakota, and it's put on by the North Dakota tribes, and they're not Lakota. They're different tribes, the Mandan Indians and stuff like that. And a lot of people go up there because it's a really cool powwow. Yeah, and so this guy is going to travel up there hoping to see this girl. And when he gets up there, um, how does that lyric goes? My eyes cried tears or something like that because I could not find you. She didn't go. Yeah, so he was all sad. So that's why the verse goes, "Chante ihang maya, you ruined my heart." So it's a story, yeah. It's telling a story of this guy going around, to these powwows, hoping to see this girl and trying to, at the fourth verse he's gonna fall. I mean, the last verse he's finally gonna work up the courage to go talk to her, and she's not there. He waited too long. Oh gosh.